Hey guys, and welcome back to the Basketball Bulletin. So, I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe, stick around for more. Gonna just be doing a quick roundup of the latest rumors that we have from Hoops Hype and just kind of around the NBA. I was gonna turn this into a video, but it was like, you know what? Let me just kind of do it quickly as a stream and talk to you guys and hang out with you guys, of course. And we have a bunch of interesting stuff here, as always. So, I hope you guys enjoy, and let's go ahead and get into our first story. So Trev already did a video on it earlier, but I wanted to kind of start with it. It was kind of the Jimmy Butler stuff. So again, check out that video for much more information. But I thought this was pretty interesting because the Heat have already talked to Hero and Adebayo about trying to get rid of this distraction that is Jimmy Butler. But Jimmy and Pat met face to face apparently and reiterated that he wanted to be traded. So Butler told Riley that he will not sign a new deal in Miami and intends to only use his $52 million player option in the offseason as a trade maneuver. There's just been so much maneuvering with all this and maneuvering. There's just been so much posturing, maneuvering about this entire Jimmy Butler situation. First, he's not going to opt in, all this other stuff. I'd be surprised, honestly, if he turned down $52 million if he didn't have a guaranteed big payday from another team coming. But we've talked about it a lot in videos. This whole situation is just kind of all over the place. And it is probably a big distraction for people related to the team. There was also some stuff about how some of his favorite guys are no longer there anymore and just kind of a bit of stuff. So sources said Riley has not shown an urgency in trade talks as the deadline looms on February 6th. Sources added ESPN reported on Christmas that Butler prefers a trade out of Miami with the Phoenix Suns, Golden State Warriors, Mavericks, and Rockets as desired destinations. One day later, Riley issued the statement making it clear we are not trading Jimmy Butler. Yeah, that was a whole saga unto itself. Kind of crazy. Corey, what's up? Jimmy quitting on his team while being overpaid. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, man, that he's getting all that money and just deciding he's not trying to be a part of the team. I understand wanting to get traded, but I also think you should go out there and still do your job. I think he kind of laid an egg in a couple games there. Apparently the Heat thought so too, because they questioned him after the first game, then suspended him after the second game. That's kind of bad. So yeah. James did the same thing, right? But it was only, quote, third and yeah, James came out that season sandbagging it. There was the whole, like, quote unquote, fat suit thing. I don't know the money, but I think it probably was about 35. The money's gone up so much since then. And I remember that vividly because the last game that he wanted to play in Houston before he just was like, I'm done, was the Laker game. The Lakers, and that was what, 21? They were actually still like a great team at that point. They ran him out the gym. And it looked really bad. It was Harden with nobody else, a bunch of role players, which is fine. But yeah, after that game, he was done. So by the way, Malik Monk is apparently on track. No, he's actually out. Excuse me. I was going to say on track to come back, but he's out tonight. One thing I thought was pretty cool was Charlotte. The Hornets are partnering to simulcast 5 games. It's the first time the franchise's actions, will broadcast free over-the-air television in nearly 2 decades, when the team was still called the Bobcats and just a growing trend around the league. Those matchups include the Hornets' home outing against the Lakers on January 27th, the Clippers on the 31st, the Bucks, the Warriors for Curry's lone visit as well, and Charlotte's date in Dallas with Mavericks on February 27th, which caps off a brutal 5-game road trip coming out of the All-Star break, is the 5th game on the current list. That's pretty cool, though. I mean, it's the Hornets. It's not, LaMelo's fun to watch. They got some fun players over there. It's not like it's, I don't know, like one of the top markets or whatever, but it's still cool that they're doing that. I think that's cool. If the Mavs can get him without giving up Clay, that would be great. Jimmy, yeah, what does that even look like? Give me a second. Let me pull that up here. What does that even look like? Oh, man. Let's pull up the trade machine. I don't know if that's even a thing. Is that even a thing? Without putting Clay in the deal? We're not going to be live for very long, by the way. About another 30 minutes. It's my wife's birthday, so going to be kind of busy. No, not you. We want you, and we want Miami. What does this look like? Jimmy going to Dallas, and Dallas sending back. Oh, that's kind of tough. 48 is hard, man. 48 is hard. 48 is really hard because then you start having to give up like that stupid trade. PJ and Gafford and Kleber. These are three of your main rotation pieces, three of your bigs. It's kind of hard, man. It's kind of hard. I think you'd have to put Clay in that deal if you wanted him. I think you'd have to do it. This seems like a nothing burger to me because you wouldn't want to give up. I mean, okay, let's say Kleber, right? Let's put him in there. Even then, it's just hard to get there with all these minimum or like low tiered salaries. So I think 15 from Clay is like, it has to be in that deal, I think. Riley needs to retire. Riley didn't do anything wrong, man. He's not the one to blame. He's not the one to blame. Not Houston, but with the Nets. Oh, the James thing? Yeah, he kind of did the same thing after with the Nets too. He kind of did it both times, right? Jimmy wants to be in a better location for his overpriced coffee business. That was a good one. Oh, man. All right, let's get back to some more of this stuff. There was some more fun stuff in here about some of the other guys around the league, of course. Speaking of James, what are they saying here? Kawhi on minutes restriction, taking his time. He's just working his conditioning. James, okay. Where is it at? Okay, so there's some stuff about Zion. So we've talked about this too. By the way, make sure you hit that thumbs up, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'd appreciate it. Let's get the like spike going. We talked about this too. The fact that Zion probably doesn't want to be in New Orleans. Stephen A came out and said just as much. Following Zion's one-game suspension for violating team policies, Stephen A believes that Zion Williamson no longer wants to be in New Orleans. It's been like the worst kept secret that he kind of just never wanted to go there. I remember prior to the draft, even the draft lottery, they were saying he wants to go to New York. Like, it's been crazy. Zion doesn't want to be in New Orleans. He doesn't want to be there. He said on ESPN, he wants to be in a major market like LA, New York, or whatever, because he wants the marketability. I mean, I understand that, just like the marketability piece, but we've seen a lot of stars in a lot of smaller markets that are able to transcend that. Like, you don't, in today's day and age, you don't have to be in a big market to be marketable. Like, that's not the way that the internet is. That's not exactly the case. I'm sure that the brand is elevated, of course, right? I'm sure the brand is much more elevated when you are in a more marketable city. But regardless, you don't have to do that. I don't know that he wanted to be in New Orleans, and I don't know, like, he's such a weird, like, I wouldn't say that he's sitting out just to sit out or faking injuries or anything crazy like that. I think he's legitimately hurt. I think if he was healthy, he would be out there. But I don't know that he's bought into this team the way you would want a quote-unquote star player to do. And I think that's problematic, and I think that's why he would potentially need to be moved on, like anything like that. I think Jimmy really wanted out when he put up 35 and almost 20 boards against the Pistons in a loss. When was that? I need to pull that up. Let me see. When did that happen? I did not see that game. I only saw those couple that he kind of just absolutely just didn't. He didn't even take shots. Like, he just was like, I don't even care. Where's Jimmy at? Man, 17, 5, and 5, making $50 million, man. Oof. I mean, playoff Jimmy, though. Playoff Jimmy. Where was that at? December 16th. It was a while ago, huh? Yeah. Then in the next game, 7 minutes, misses some games probably in that stretch, and then comes back, plays 2 games, takes 5 shots and 6 shots. He's talked about also, Jimmy has talked about how, like, that he wants to be more involved in the offense, wants to be more with the ball. Like, they've kind of moved away from him in favor of featuring more of like Hero and stuff, which I'm cool with. I mean, he's 35. Hero's got some juice, obviously, and I get that. But maybe at that point he kind of was like, you know what, screw it. Detroit's not as bad as people think they are. In fact, are they? They're at 500 right now, right? They're 2 above 500, 4th in the division. Where's the standings at? Hold on. Where are the NBA standings? Where are they at? That's got to be like a top 5 seed. Where are they at? Okay, well, never mind. That's the 8th seed. The East has really rebounded in a big way, but they're not far behind. They're a game behind 5. Like, it's they're right there. So, like, Detroit's actually a good team. Like, I'm not even mad at that if I'm Jimmy. I think Jimmy really wanted out. Pat needs to retire because that doesn't sound like he's sandbagging to me. Yeah, 35, no. But really what I was talking about was the next couple of outings. And they, after this Pelicans game, they questioned him. You know, they made it clear that they thought he wasn't out there giving his best effort. And then after the Indiana loss, they suspended him the next day, by the way. I would love that for the Mavs. Jimmy going over there, you'd have to give up Clay, some of those guys. I mean, I think the ceiling is high for sure. I think the ceiling's high. It would have to be Kyrie or Clay. Yeah, you'd have. Well, I wasn't considering Kyrie on the trade machine, but yes, you could do Kyrie if you wanted to do that. Obviously, I just wasn't considering him. Pat thinks he's a mob figure, so it has to humble him. I know you're not talking with the Godfather name. Oh boy. 48 is big bucks. Yep. Rowley said, "Keep your damn mouth shut." Oh, he did say that. That's right. I forgot he said that. You guys are right. He did say that. And then Jimmy came back and was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut." Right? I forgot he did say that. Yeah, I don't know that Zion ever wanted to be there. I need a trade like a crackhead needs crack. Oh my God. He wanted to play with RJ, I think. That could be true. Send Zion to Canada? Well, there you go. Playing with RJ in Canada. Zion no longer has marketability unless he plays. Yeah, it's probably true at this point. It's a double-edged sword, though, because Jimmy has a history. Correct. Zion with Luka would be crazy. Yeah, in theory, I'd like Zion on a handful of teams. I think in theory, Zion could be crazy. All right, so there's some more stuff about Jonas Valanciunas. Wizards could get 2 second-round picks. If any incoming contract in a Valanciunas deal would not impair the Wizards' long-term payroll flexibility, that's part of it too, then more than one early second-round pick might do the trick. One league source whose team is not currently involved with the Wizards in discussions about Valanciunas believes that 2 second-rounders will wind up being the maximum Washington can get for him. Val knows trade rumors will swirl over the next few weeks. He said, "What can you deal with that? Shut my phone off." Okay. You expect everything, you just do your job. Okay, professional. They signed him to trade him. That's all. That's they don't need Valanciunas. They signed him to trade him. I think the key thing here is a deal that would not impair the Wizards' long-term payroll flexibility, I think is the most important thing about this. Because, for example, he's largely been linked to the Lakers. And in that case, I think a 1-for-1 swap with him and Gabe Vincent works. I think Gabe has 1 more year on the books, but that's not an expiring deal. Like, it's not like crazy long-term, but it seems like they would want an expiring deal if possible. 2 seconds is not crazy, but they're hoping to get an early second. That's what it said. Like an early second might get the job done. Oh my God, I got to remove those other teams. Where's he at? 9.9. Yeah, I think that's a straight 1-for-1. 11, assuming they've got the salary. I'm not going to actually push that through because I need to remove the other teams. But yeah, I think that's interesting. What do you guys think about Valanciunas? I think he's just all right. Like, we did a video talking about the center market. I think he's just all right. He's not a guy, though, that I would like. He doesn't move the needle for me, like on any team. Like, I think he's a nice depth piece. But I think I'd have very real concerns about his slow-footedness and how he can get played out of games, put in actions, and played out of games that way. I'd be really concerned about that. But, I mean, he's going to get you 10 to 10 if you give him the minutes. So there's benefit to that too. I'm not going to lie. If Zion could find a way to Memphis, it might make waves in the West. This was just before they started chirping back and forth. Yeah. I'd like Zion in Memphis. Again, theoretically, I like Zion in a lot of spots. Zion to Portland for Scoot and Anthony. I mean, okay. I don't really have any thoughts on that one. Scoot's not been so far yet what I would hope he would be. Maybe eventually he gets there. Anthony's great. If the Pelicans are doing that, they probably are getting off of CJ, of course, which they probably want to do. Go Lakers, go Rams. Yes. I think Miami came around on Hero because they had to. If they had a decent package for Dame, he would have been gone. Yeah. If they could have got Dame, they would have been in on that. I need the Blazers to start finding people to buy in. We cannot keep Ayton and Ant if we're going to help grow the kids. I assume you mean Anthony, right? Or unless you meant Grant. Anyway, yeah, that's fair. I just don't really like that contract he has, right? Like Ayton, I hate that contract. I actually hate that contract. How much is left on it? I need to pull up the salary. Let me pull up the spot strike salary here. How much is left on wasn't it like a $35 million deal? That's something stupid, right? He's halfway done with it. It's still $35 million. God, what an overpay. God, what an overpay. This only happened because of all that, because the fact he was going to sign in Indiana, right? And Miles Turner kind of re-upped, and then they were like, oh, we've got to give him this max deal with, or whatever, close to max deal with Phoenix at the time. Oof. Is Ayton good? He's okay. Like, he's all right. My least favorite thing with him is he's just got a low motor, right? Like he doesn't really make much of an impact. He doesn't play with much force. He just got a low motor. That's my thing with him. I remember on the Suns I thought he was good, but everyone doesn't like him. I mean, he was all right there. He was all right. He was all right. He had a couple big games, I think, in the playoffs too for the Suns, especially on like that finals run, if I remember correctly. Honestly, no. Rob Williams is a better plus minus for us. I think Rob would be a fun one if he can. He's just like Zion. Theoretically, I'd love him on a bunch of teams. 2 seconds seems a bit high for him. Yeah, that's what I was gonna also say. I kind of moved on from that. They want 2 seconds. That seems like a high asking price for Val, but I'm not surprised by it. But they're also saying that's probably going to be the maximum Washington can get for him. It may be something like, I don't know what they would get. A late first, or excuse me, a late second and an early second, something like that. I don't know. But if they can extract any value from him, then I think that would be a benefit, because I don't really think they got him with hopes of keeping him or anything like that. I think they were just trying to move on from him in the first place. There's also some stuff on Sims here, Jericho Sims. All right, so Sims also started 3 games this season, all missed by Karl-Anthony Towns because of injuries. It's unclear what the Knicks can retrieve for Sims, but a source said a second-round pick was one ask. The 26-year-old has garnered some interest around the NBA via the New York Post. A source said the Knicks are exploring trades for front court depth, but are also shopping Jericho Sims. Sims' future could be tied to Robinson's return, and whether it's before the February 6th deadline, as source said, Robinson still hasn't begun sprinting. Oof. However, that's the next step, the coach said. He's doing some light shooting right now. Okay, well, he's on the court. Mitchell is on the court, so there's that. What is Sims doing, though? I haven't peeped Sims for a while, but he's on the market. And it's not a surprise they'd be looking for a front court depth, because they don't really have a lot of it here. I mean, they've got some guys, but when they start pulling away from Cat, that's why Cat's having the season he's having, because he's had such a huge role. I mean, Cat's giving them like 25 and 14 or something like that. He's having an awesome year, but they don't have depth behind him, and they're kind of just waiting for Mitchell to come back, right? So Jericho Sims not getting any burn for them this year. 11 minutes per game, only played 32 games, started 3 games where Cat was out. Where's his game log? Let me see the starter games. 29 minutes here, 10 rebounds. Okay. And a loss to Orlando. This is almost a nothing burger. Like, I mean, you'd want to keep your young guys to try to develop them still, right? But if they get a second for him, it is what it is. What's his contract? I'd actually be curious about his contract. He's on a minimum deal. Okay. With a team option this year? Huh. It's technically an expiring deal. You could do whatever you want with him. I guess. I mean, like I said, it's largely a nothing burger. But it is interesting, though, again, on the Knicks, back to just what they're trying to do, add more front court depth because they are pretty thin behind Cat. And also the nugget on Mitchell, because a lot of that does, have to do with Mitchell and his availability. The fact he's not sprinting yet, at least he's on the court, but not sprinting is not, not making me optimistic. But hopefully he's back soon. He might be back by that deadline, like they mentioned. That's going to determine what they do at the deadline, if he's back or not. But I'd be curious if he's not back, if they just try to move him and try to just sell low on him and get another guy in there for them. He doesn't play hard, but he has talent. Yeah, Ayton. Thanks, bro. I don't watch the Blazers games. I don't know what the choice is for center, but any player that are coming off injuries have me worried. Rob Williams and Bruce Brown. Yeah, you need these guys that are coming off injuries to get healthy and show what they can do. Because when they come out and they're coming off these injuries, you don't know what version of them you're going to get. And also sometimes when people come off the injuries, they come back. It may take them a while to really get back to who they are. Like it may take them still another month, 2 months, or maybe 6 months, depending on the injury, to come back to what they were prior or be better than that. So yeah, once again, quick reminder, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. 80% of viewers aren't subscribed. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, make sure you just stick around for more content by clicking that button. I don't blame you. We're trash. I know Bruce is in the center, but I'm talking about trade opportunities for the Lakers. Okay, yeah, I kind of like Bruce for the Lakers. I kind of would like him for the Lakers. They could use another like perimeter defensive wing, guard, wing, swingman, whatever. They don't really have a lot of that. It's largely Max. And with Bruce, I think the upside is that you've got it's Max DFS a little bit too, but he plays up a little bit. Max is more of like a guard defender. Vando can sometimes be, but he's in and out. Cam sometimes can be, but he's an absolute black hole on offense. Gabe, who knows what you're going to get from him? Sometimes he's that, sometimes he's not. Sometimes he's giving you 10 points. Sometimes he's giving you nothing and nothing but zeros, but good defense. I don't know. Dalton is a black hole on defense. AR tries, but is also a black hole on defense. LeBron, every now and again, he just takes plays off. It is what it is. I'm not really criticizing, but it is what it is. So they can use another consistent guy to plug in there at like the 1, 2, 3 range. And I think Bruce would be a good player. And he is proven. He's won a championship. He was great in that run. In fact, I thought he was great prior to going to Denver in Brooklyn, where he really started hitting his stride. I'd like him on a lot of teams, but you do need to see him have prolonged health. And he just started getting back out there. You need prolonged health. Jonas is a bad fit for the Lakers. JJ wouldn't play him. Yeah, for the Lakers again, I wouldn't expect Jonas to be anything more than a backup center that's getting like 15 minutes per night. I'm not even lying. Like I don't think maybe 18, but nothing more than that. Like JJ, I don't think would play him. I don't think he fits JJ's style. I don't think JJ did say he wants a bruising center in the offseason. I don't know if Val was who he was talking about. Like if you have hopes of them running double bigs, I don't see it happening. I think there's a very real chance, especially if they don't pull in a center, that maybe they make some sort of consolidation trade to free up a spot. They give Koloko that extra spot, and then he just is on the team. But if they make it to the playoffs, your backup center is going to be like Vando DFS, something like that. Like your second look is going to be small ball if they don't get a center. He's not going to play Hayes in the playoffs. There's no way. Koloko may give him a shot. If he does anything wrong, he's out of the rotation for the rest of the playoffs. Like if they don't get a big, that's the situation they'd be in. If they got Valanciunas specifically, I think they'd feel pressure to play him. But if he looks bad, I think JJ would pull him. So like, I don't know that you have the upside. Like you have some of the same defensive limitations and stuff with a guy like Vucevic, but you have a far, far higher upside offensively, right? So like I would go in on that, and it would make sense. The thing with Vuce is that if you're a Laker fan that wants them to run double bigs, there's zero chance he's coming off the bench. Like they would actually start him, and it will be fine because he could shoot. So that's kind of where I think Vuce is maybe, like people talk about like Nick Richards or some of these guys that are cheaper. I think if I could go on any center on the market, it'd be Vucevic, simply because it would move AD more to the power forward. I'm not somebody that thinks AD is only a 4. Like, I don't think he has to play the 4, but I do like the option, right? I actually think AD is largely a traditional 5 now. Like, his game has turned into, he's starting to shoot the 3 a bit more, but over the last few years, he's been playing like a regular big. So the Suns match the sheet. I see. Stupid. Yeah, absolutely crazy. They matched that deal on Ayton. That contract is nasty. What do you think about Curry telling his front office to basically stay put? Maybe he doesn't want Jimmy either. I saw that was from Draymond, right? Draymond said that him and Steph don't think they should mortgage the future. Bad teams do that, which, I mean, that's commendable. That's commendable. Curry's also had several, in context or out of context, I'm not sure, several of other sound bites where he's basically said, I'm not going to play for long, etc. They have also been rumored to be after guys like Larry Markkinen, Paul George, Jimmy Butler now. They've been in on some of these guys already. And no matter what you do, if you're going for one of these guys that's like a star-level player, it's always going to come down to having to give up some of your pieces like a Kuminga, especially if you can't work out an extension. So, like, regardless of what Draymond or Curry are saying, it's going to kind of wind up happening if they make any deal for any significant player coming back. I think their target should also be Vucevic, because he's not that expensive monetarily and asset-wise. Like, you can probably get him for matching salary in a couple seconds, although you may need like 3 seconds if they're saying that Val could probably get you 2. I think there's a huge gap there. All right. We should trade Austin. I like Austin. I mean, 15 minutes of solid center with rebounding is exactly what you need. You think Jonas can do that better than a minimum we getting with 0-0-0? I mean, he could do that. And you're right, it is better than that. But I'm a little bit behind in the comments, so I've already explained my stance on it. And also, 15 minutes a night now is not the same as 15 minutes a night later. When you get to the playoffs, there is no 15 minutes because AD, assuming things are how they are, if they get Valanciunas, AD is playing 42, 44 minutes at the center position. There's no 10 to 15 minutes. So, more than anything, we need guys that can play hard and actually care. We got too many chill guys. That is also true. Actually, I'm not all that behind, actually. I'm pretty up to date. If you can get AO with Vooch and Craig, that's a huge deal with a first plus for the Lakers. Yeah, but I'm not sure they're gonna trade Io. Excuse me. Selling the farm is perfectly fine if Curry is thinking about moving into the front office himself. Is that a thing? Did I miss that? Is that a thing? Is he actually thinking about that? I wouldn't be surprised, I guess, but you know. Speaking of Steph, passed Allen Iverson in points and Kobe in assists. Okay. I think that's mostly everything that we had. So I'm just going to read a few more chats from you guys. Curry just retire. Dang. I don't know if him, LeBron, or KD will be in the league in like 3 years, to be honest. I think they're all going to exit like relatively close in time. I'd actually be surprised if like Steph or KD, I know for sure LeBron's not, but I'd be surprised if these guys are still playing like 3-4 years from now. 4 or 5, I should say. 3, I think is fine. 4 or 5, Steph Curry with the Hornets? That, no. Why? That's what the language sounds like, honestly. Thinking about the team past him is pretty selfless and very much a nice guy move. Oh, yeah. Like, yeah, if you have plans to like go to the front office, I mean, sure, that's fair. Makes a lot of sense. I just don't like at the same time, like I was saying, if they want trades, it has to come from somewhere, right? It has to come from somewhere. Franz has been upgraded to reconditioning. Oh, that's another thing that was in here. It was right here. I missed it. Franz is nearing a return from injury. Although Franz remains out, the Magic are expected to upgrade his injury description from torn to return to competition reconditioning here. So a major step, just over 5 weeks removed from his injury. That is huge because the Magic did all they needed to do without Paulo, without Franz, to stay afloat. And they're still hanging on to a top 4 seed right now. I mean, just like the West, the East has a lot of guys that are just kind of a lot of teams that are just kind of bunched up by a couple of games. Yeah, they're here, but by a half game. They're 1.5 games over playing range. So, but still, 4-6 the last 10. They've largely held serve, held 500. That's fine. And they've done everything they needed, and they're gonna get one of their main guys back. So that's huge. I wonder what Paolo's been doing since his return. I have not seen the other. Let's see. Okay. I saw the first game. I didn't see what's up with this one. Lost by 3 in 27 minutes, 34 points. Oh, he's cooking. Oh, he came back. He came back cooking. He must be on a minutes restriction as well, because 2 games of 27 minutes. 8-6. Oh, they're gonna be nasty when they get Franz back. I'd assume he'd also be on a minutes restriction. But yeah, we talked about them a lot throughout the channel so far, but that's going to be huge for them getting him back. I mean, look at him. He's leading the team because Paolo's not eligible otherwise, but he's leading the team in all these statistics right now. It's going to be huge for them. Braun and Bronny to the Warriors for Moody. Imagine. That's just not possible, though. If the Lakers are going to switch 1 through 4 with 80 as the load. As the load? What do you mean? You mean in drop? You're saying they should do 1 through 4 switching with a drop? JJ switching 1 through 5 is selling? Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't on the LN stream last night. Trev asked me after I had already told Dan, the Laker fan, I would be on. But that was the very start of the game. I said, holy crap, they're switching everything. This is bad. This is bad. It's very bad. And it all game long. I don't get it. I don't get the 1 through 5 switch look. I understand it if he's trying to condition the team when he's got other players. But JJ, his scheme with that, it's almost like he's coaching the style that he wants, not the personnel that he has. If you've got a lineup of DFS, Cam or Max, you've got Vando back. Let's say LeBron, if he's out there working, okay, I can understand it. But if you've got Austin, Dalton, AD's fine switching, but the other guys not so much, especially when they're switching onto freaking Wemby. For what? For what? Oh, man, I was so pissed. Magic are a fun team when healthy. Yeah, they're one of my favorite teams to watch. Paulo's a monster. Switch 3 to 5. It's fine. Anything else is a disaster. Yeah. If you can do that, that's fine too. 3 through 5, sure. It's time to move on from Rui in the starting lineup. Yeah, it's been time. You know what I mean, bro? Wemby cooked. Yeah, the only thing that was saving them, I'll say, is Wemby was he lives on the perimeter. But if he would get his big butt down by the basket on those switches, he would have had 20 more points. Easy in my book. But that's how he plays. And I have no knock for him because he's damn good. I think he's top 10 right now. Wemby is awesome. Boston can switch 1 through 5. They got the personnel. We don't. Exactly. We don't got that. Austin getting switched on to Wemby. Yeah, that was brutal, man. That was brutal, man. But I want to say thank you for everyone that tuned into this impromptu stream. We're just going to wrap it up. Today's my wife's birthday, so I don't have much time. So I wanted to just kind of cover something today for you guys. So all the new information, rumors, and stuff around the league, make sure you hit that thumbs up, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all guys later. Take it easy.